Money listens. Not to action, not to effort, but to the silent voice within you. This audiobook reveals the hidden language of money, showing how your inner dialogue shapes your financial destiny. What you say in secret, money hears in truth. Money has a secret rule. Introduction. There is a sacred law hidden from the eyes of the world but known to the sages of old. Money does not move by labor or logic. It is drawn by the silent currents of consciousness. This forgotten wisdom, passed in hushed voices from temple to temple, reveals a truth most never see. Your private thoughts about wealth call forth your financial destiny with unerring accuracy. Each thought you think, each feeling you entertain, becomes a signal broadcast into the unseen ether. When you speak of scarcity, even only to yourself, you erect walls that abundance cannot pass. But when your inner voice speaks with certainty, ease, and gratitude, money begins to move toward you as if summoned, like a hound to its master's call. The prosperous, knowingly or not, speak a language wealth understands. Their inner dialogue hums in harmony with the law of increase. In their presence, money does not need to be chased, for it recognizes its rightful steward and draws near without resistance. This is not mere optimism, nor a trick of the mind. It is the ancient art of magnetizing prosperity, the realization that money is conscious, responsive energy, and it is listening to you. Your thoughts are not idle. They are commands. What you believe and declare in the privacy of your soul becomes the invitation or the refusal of wealth. Those who struggle have unknowingly repelled abundance with self-spoken spells of lack, but those who rise into affluence have discovered the hidden current, the vibration that causes money to seek them out. This secret asks for no gold, no toil, no complex strategy. It demands only awareness of your inner speech, your emotional tone, and your alignment with the laws that govern unseen wealth. For when you master the dialogue of abundance, you will no longer chase money. Money will chase you. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Discovery of Money's Hidden Language. Chapter 1. The Secret Rule Revealed. In the bustling marketplace of an ancient city, a merchant named Theodore arranged his wares with growing despair. His small shop, filled with quality goods, struggled to attract the prosperity he desperately sought. One afternoon, two wealthy merchants paused near his stall, speaking in hushed tones that caught Theodore's attention. "Brother," said one, "the secret lies not in chasing money, but in how we speak to it. Money listens, like a faithful servant to its master's voice." "Indeed," replied the other, "when I address money, I speak with the certainty that it already belongs to me. It responds to my command as naturally as a flower turns to face the sun." Theodore's world shifted with this revelation. For years he had pleaded with money, begged it to come, complained of its absence. Now he understood. Money possessed its own consciousness, responding to the very language of his thoughts. Every internal dialogue about wealth creates a vibration that money recognizes. When you speak to yourself of lack, struggle, or unworthiness, money turns away, like a shy creature retreating from harsh sounds. But when you address money with respect and certainty, it draws near, eager to serve its rightful master. Your thoughts about money are not merely thoughts, they are direct communications with the energy of abundance itself. Each word you speak internally either welcomes or repels prosperity. Those who prosper have mastered this sacred dialogue, whether consciously or not. Their inner conversation resonates with the frequency that money naturally responds to. In a distant village lived Prudence, a skilled seamstress whose fingers created beauty, but whose purse remained empty. Night after night, she would count her meager earnings, thinking, "Why won't money come to me? Please, I need more customers." One morning, something within her shifted. Instead of her usual laments, she spoke to herself differently. "Money flows to me easily. I command abundance to enter my life." Within days, wealthy patrons appeared at her door. Orders multiplied. Money began flowing from unexpected sources drawn by the new authority in her inner dialogue. Your current financial reality mirrors precisely how you speak to yourself about money. Every penny present or absent reflects the ongoing conversation you maintain with the consciousness of wealth. The Money Dialogue Awareness Exercise. For one full day, become the observer of your internal money conversations. Record each thought, word, and tone you use when thinking about wealth. Notice whether you speak as a beggar or a master, whether your words attract or repel. Write these observations in a journal, bringing to light the hidden patterns that have shaped your financial destiny. Chapter 2. The Language Money Understands. At the First National Bank, Augustus watched the daily parade of customers with newfound fascination. From his position behind the polished counter, he began noticing an extraordinary pattern. Certain patrons seemed to attract wealth effortlessly, while others remained trapped in financial struggle despite their best efforts. The difference, Augustus realized, lay not in their accounts or investments, but in their words. Those who prospered spoke a distinct language when discussing money. Where others complained about bills, they discussed managing cash flow. While some bemoaned their debts, these magnetic individuals spoke of investment opportunities. Money responds to language with mathematical precision. Like a tuning fork resonating with specific frequencies, wealth vibrates in harmony with certain words while recoiling from others. The language you use creates an energetic field that either welcomes or repels financial abundance. Words that attract money carry the energy of expansion, flow, circulation, abundance, prosperity, wealth, fortune, increase, multiply, grow, flourish. These terms create an open channel through which money eagerly travels. Conversely, words that repel money carry contracting energy: struggle, lack, bills, debt, broke, poor, scarcity, insufficient, limited, stuck. These terms construct invisible barriers that block the natural flow of abundance. In the fertile valleys of the countryside lived Cornelius, a farmer who tended vast fields of grain. Year after year, his harvest remained modest despite his diligent work. Each morning, he would walk his fields lamenting, these crops are weak, the soil is poor, and the yield will be small." One spring, Cornelius encountered an old sage who shared a timeless truth. Plants, like all living things, respond to the words spoken to them. The next morning, Cornelius changed his dialogue. "These crops are strong. This soil is rich. The harvest will be abundant." To his amazement, his fields began to flourish. The stalks grew taller, the grain more plentiful. His harvest doubled, then tripled in subsequent seasons. Your financial garden responds just as Cornelius's fields did. Every word you speak plants a seed that will bear fruit in your material world. The money flowing through your life, or its absence, reflects the language you have been using in your internal dialogue. Magnetic money vocabulary training. For the next 7 days, replace these common money-repelling words with their magnetic alternatives. Instead of bills, say investments. Instead of debt, say capital. Instead of expensive, say valuable. Instead of can't afford, say choosing to allocate elsewhere. Instead of broke, say temporarily liquid. Use these new terms consistently in your internal dialogue, watching as your financial energy field begins to shift. Chapter 3: The Consciousness of Currency. In the ancient streets of Damascus, a coin collector named Gideon spent his days examining rare currencies from distant lands. While others saw mere metal discs, Gideon began perceiving something deeper, a living presence within each piece. He started speaking to his collection with the same warmth one might address an old friend, expressing gratitude for their stories and service through the ages. As Gideon shifted his perspective, extraordinary events unfolded. A forgotten relative bequeathed him a valuable coin collection. A customer overpaid significantly, refusing to accept the difference back. Rare specimens he had sought for years suddenly appeared in unexpected places, as if drawn to his appreciation. Money exists as more than physical currency. It embodies the living energy of human exchange, carrying within it the consciousness of countless transactions, dreams, and possibilities. When you recognize money as a conscious force rather than inert matter, its behavior in your life transforms dramatically. Like water flowing naturally to the lowest point, money flows effortlessly toward those who honor its true nature. The universal law governing financial flow operates through resonance, not force. Money, as living energy, naturally seeks those who appreciate its service, rather than those who grasp at it desperately. Your recognition of money's role in facilitating human progress, enabling dreams, and supporting civilization makes you magnetic to its presence. In a bustling market square, a shopkeeper named Millicent ran a modest fabric store. Unlike other merchants who hastily stuffed coins into their purses, she began a practice of quietly thanking each piece of money that passed through her hands. "Thank you for supporting this exchange," she would whisper. "Thank you for helping both buyer and seller prosper." Within months, Millicent's shop flourished inexplicably. Customers returned more frequently, spent more generously, and referred others consistently. Money flowed to her establishment as if choosing a preferred destination. Her competitors wondered at her success, not seeing that she had transformed her relationship with money from captor to collaborator. Money appreciation ritual. Find a quiet space each day for 5 minutes of uninterrupted communion with money. Hold a coin or bill in your hands, feeling its presence as living energy. Express genuine gratitude for how money serves humanity, enabling trade, supporting dreams, facilitating growth, and connecting people through exchange. Thank it specifically for the ways it has supported your journey, acknowledging its role in providing shelter, nourishment, education, and experiences. Let your appreciation flow naturally. speaking to money as you would to a valued ally who has faithfully served humanity through the ages. Chapter 4. The Voice of Financial Authority. In the marble halls of an ancient banking institution, a young banker named Ezekiel noticed a striking pattern among his clients. The wealthy ones spoke of money with the same natural authority as one might speak about the sunrise, not with arrogance but with quiet certainty that it would appear. The struggling clients, however, approached money like supplicants before a temperamental deity, their words tinged with desperate hope and pleading. Money flows according to the authority in your voice. When you speak to money as if requesting a favor, it responds with hesitation and resistance. But when you address money with the calm certainty of one who understands their divine right to abundance, it flows as naturally as water downstream. This authority stems not from ego but from spiritual alignment with universal truth. You exist as part of the infinite abundance of creation. Your right to prosper comes not from what you do, but from who you are. A divine being participating in the eternal flow of universal wealth. Money recognizes this truth when you speak from this understanding. In the bustling marketplace of Venice, a merchant named Cordelia struggled to keep her silk trading business alive. Her conversations with customers reflected her inner uncertainty. Would you perhaps consider, and if you might be interested, ciao. But through observing successful traders, she discovered a profound truth. She began speaking with quiet knowing. This silk will serve you well, and you'll appreciate the quality of this piece. As Cordelia's inner dialogue shifted from hope to certainty, her outer world transformed. Customers responded differently, sensing her authentic authority. Sales increased not through manipulation, but through the natural response to her aligned energy. Money began flowing as if recognizing a clear channel for its expression. Financial Authority Declaration. Stand before a mirror each morning and speak these words with the quiet authority of one who knows rather than hopes. I stand as a divine channel for abundance. Money flows through me with perfect precision. I claim my natural state of prosperity not with force, but with knowing. As the sun rises without doubt, so does wealth rise in my experience. I speak to money as one who understands its nature and purpose. My authority comes from alignment with universal truth, and money responds to this alignment with perfect obedience. Chapter 5. The Mirror of Money Beliefs. In a small village renowned for its exquisite mirrors, a craftsman named Reginald made a remarkable discovery. As he polished his mirrors each morning, he observed that customers who gazed into them with confidence and prosperity in their eyes seemed to manifest that same prosperity in their lives. Those who looked with worry and scarcity reflected in their faces inevitably experienced financial hardship, regardless of their circumstances. Your financial reality operates as a perfect mirror, reflecting with unwavering accuracy the beliefs you hold about money in your innermost thoughts. The wealth you experience, or its absence, stems not from external factors, but from the invisible script running in your mind about what you believe possible. These beliefs form the foundation of your money dialogue. Like underground roots determining the height of a tree, your subconscious beliefs about money determine the ceiling of your financial growth. No strategy, no matter how brilliant, can override the limitations set by your deepest convictions about wealth. Hidden in your consciousness lie powerful beliefs, and money is hard to come by. Wealth only comes through struggle. Rich people are unhappy. These thoughts may have been planted long ago, yet they direct your financial destiny with the precision of a master conductor leading an orchestra. In a neighboring town lived Evangeline, a seamstress known for her intricate embroidery. One day she noticed her stitching patterns changed dramatically based on her state of mind. When she felt abundant, her designs flowed with grace and beauty. When worried about money, her patterns became tight and constrained. Through this observation, she understood that her internal state shaped her creative output more than her technical skill ever could. The patterns of your financial life mirror your internal beliefs with the same exactness. Every monetary challenge you face traces back to a limiting belief directing your thoughts, words, and actions around money. These beliefs create an invisible architecture that shapes your financial reality more powerfully than any external circumstance. Money belief archaeology practice. You find a quiet space and bring paper and pen. Close your eyes and recall 3 recent financial situations that cause stress or worry. For each situation, write down your immediate unfiltered thoughts about money that arose. These automatic responses reveal your buried beliefs. Next to each limiting belief, write its empowering opposite. For 7 days, whenever the old belief surfaces, immediately replace it with its empowering counterpart. Watch as your internal dialogue shifts and your external reality begins to mirror your transformed beliefs. Chapter 6: The Frequency of Financial Flow. In the bustling streets of an ancient city, a musician named Atticus earned his living playing melodies on his lute. Through years of observation, he noticed an intriguing pattern. When he played in certain keys, merchants and nobles would gather, their coins flowing freely into his collection bowl. Yet when he shifted to other frequencies, his audience would thin, replaced by those with empty pockets. Your relationship with money operates on similar principles of frequency and resonance. Like musical notes traveling through air, your thoughts and words about wealth emit invisible vibrations that either harmonize with or repel financial abundance. These frequencies, generated by your internal dialogue, create an energetic signature that money either recognizes as welcoming or registers as dissonant. Money resonates most powerfully with specific emotional frequencies. When your internal conversation generates vibrations of gratitude, your energy field becomes magnetic to wealth. When you speak to yourself with certainty about abundance, you broadcast a frequency that money naturally flows toward. Appreciation for what you already have creates harmonious waves that attract more to appreciate, while excitement about financial possibilities opens channels for unexpected opportunities. Conversely, when your self-talk generates frequencies of fear or lack, you create discordant vibrations that money instinctively avoids. Desperate thoughts about bills produce energetic static that blocks the natural flow of abundance. Doubts about your worthiness to receive wealth emit frequencies that push money away, as surely as opposing magnetic poles repel each other. Along a distant shore, a lighthouse keeper named Genevieve made a similar discovery about the nature of frequency and attraction. She found that ships responded differently to various colors of light. Red drew fishing vessels, while white attracted merchant ships laden with cargo. Through careful selection of her beacon's frequency, she could guide precisely the type of vessels she wished to welcome to her harbor. Your internal dialogue works as a lighthouse, broadcasting frequencies that attract specific financial experiences. The quality of your money conversations determines the quality of the abundance that navigates toward you. Every thought about wealth sends out a beacon that draws matching experiences into your reality. Financial frequency tuning practice. Sit quietly for 15 minutes each morning. Begin by generating feelings of genuine gratitude for the money currently in your life, no matter the amount. Maintain this high-frequency emotion while speaking words of certainty about wealth's natural flow toward you. Gradually extend these sessions, training yourself to hold prosperity-attracting frequencies for longer periods until they become your natural broadcasting state. Chapter 7. The Magnetic Power of Money Gratitude. In the quiet countryside, a poor farmer named Bartholomew lived a life of constant struggle until he discovered an ancient truth about the nature of wealth. Each morning, as he counted his meager coins, he began a practice that would transform his fortunes, thanking money for its faithful service. With each transaction, whether purchasing seeds or paying his workers, he expressed heartfelt appreciation for money's role in making these exchanges possible. As weeks passed, Bartholomew noticed something extraordinary. Money began appearing in unexpected ways. A forgotten debt repaid, an abundant harvest, favorable prices at market. The more he acknowledged money's service, the more it seemed eager to serve him. And this reveals a universal principle. Money flows toward appreciation, like water flows downhill. When you express genuine gratitude for money's presence in your life, you create an energetic invitation that abundance cannot resist. Each expression of thanks becomes a magnetic force, drawing more financial opportunities into your experience. True money gratitude transcends superficial thankfulness. It requires recognizing money's profound role in human civilization, how it enables the exchange of goods and services, provides security and comfort, and facilitates the realization of dreams. This deeper appreciation creates a frequency that money naturally resonates with and responds to. In a bustling market town, a merchant named Dorothea struggled to keep her shop afloat until she discovered the circular nature of money's flow. She began thanking money not only when customers paid her, but also when she purchased inventory or paid expenses. To her amazement, this practice of appreciating both money's arrival and departure transformed her business. Dorothea realized that resenting expenses or feeling loss when spending money created energetic blockages in wealth's natural circulation. By expressing gratitude for money's movement in all directions, she maintained an open channel through which abundance could flow freely. Her appreciation for money's departure ensured its return multiplied. Money gratitude circulation practice. Begin each day by expressing specific thanks for money's service in your life. When receiving money, acknowledge its arrival with genuine appreciation. When spending money, thank it for enabling the exchange. Even when thinking about money, practice gratitude for its constant service. Maintain this circulation of appreciation until it becomes your natural response to all financial interactions. Chapter 8. The Sacred Conversation with Abundance. In the halls of an ancient library, a philosopher named Clarence discovered a truth that would forever alter his understanding of wealth. Each morning, he would sit in contemplative silence, addressing abundance as one would address a trusted mentor. "What wisdom do you have for me today?" he would inquire, then wait in receptive stillness for the subtle whispers of insight to emerge. At first, his rational mind questioned this practice, yet as he continued these daily conversations, remarkable changes unfolded. Investment opportunities appeared precisely when he had received inner guidance to prepare for them. Business decisions guided by this intuitive dialogue proved consistently successful. Through this practice, Clarence realized that abundance possessed an intelligence far beyond mere accumulation of wealth. When you open yourself to direct communion with abundance, you discover it is not an abstract concept, but a living presence eager to guide your financial journey. Like a wise friend who sees your highest potential, abundance communicates through subtle impressions, unexpected insights, and an inner knowing that transcends logical analysis. This communication requires shifting from the typical relationship with money, one of demand and acquisition, to one of receptive partnership. Abundance speaks most clearly when approached with reverence and genuine desire for understanding, rather than desperate pleas for quick solutions. In a small village, a gardener named Patience transformed her humble plot through a similar discovery. Rather than imposing her will upon her plants, she began each morning asking them what they needed to thrive. To her amazement, clear guidance would arise. Some plants requested more water, others more space, and some simply needed patience before harvesting. As Patience followed this intuitive guidance, her garden flourished beyond anything conventional methods had produced. Plants bloomed out of season, yields doubled, and even the soil seemed to radiate vitality. Her success demonstrated a profound truth. When we listen to the wisdom of natural forces rather than imposing our limited understanding, unprecedented abundance flows. The Abundance Dialogue Sessions. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit in comfortable stillness for 10 minutes each day. Begin by addressing abundance as a wise presence, eager to guide you. Ask specific questions about your financial situation. Then remain in receptive silence, allowing intuitive answers to arise naturally. Record any insights or guidance received, however subtle they may seem. Practice this dialogue daily, building trust in abundance's guiding wisdom. Chapter 9: The Identity of the Money Magnet. In the grand theaters of a bustling city, an actor named Obadiah made a discovery that would transform not just his performances, but his entire financial destiny. Night after night, he portrayed wealthy merchants and prosperous nobles on stage, embodying their confident bearing, their ease with money, their natural expectation of abundance. As he immersed himself in these roles, speaking and thinking as one who commanded wealth, a curious transformation began to unfold in his own life. Money started appearing in unexpected ways, generous tips from admirers, lucrative acting opportunities, even forgotten investments that suddenly bore fruit. Through this experience, Obadiah realized that money responded not to his actual circumstances, but to the identity he maintained in his internal conversations. Your financial reality flows directly from your money identity, the deep internal story you tell yourself about who you are in relationship to wealth. This identity speaks louder than any action you might take or strategy you might employ. When you consistently think and speak to yourself as someone who naturally attracts and manages wealth, money responds by making this identity your reality. The wealthy have mastered this principle, often without conscious awareness. In their private thoughts, they refer to themselves as capable stewards of abundance. Their internal dialogue naturally aligns with prosperity, not through affirmation but through genuine self-image. They speak to themselves as people who belong in abundance, and abundance responds by confirming this identity. In a small village, a baker named Constance quietly began an experiment in identity transformation. In her private thoughts, she stopped referring to herself as struggling or getting by. Instead, she consistently thought and spoke of herself as the most successful baker in town. She did not announce this to others. This shift occurred purely in her internal dialogue. As days passed, this new identity began expressing itself through subtle changes. She carried herself differently, made bolder decisions about her business, and interacted with customers from a place of natural confidence. Soon, her bakery's reputation grew, customers multiplied, and her identity as the town's premier baker became an external reality, manifested through the power of her internal dialogue. The wealthy identity integration. Begin a conscious practice of referring to yourself in your internal dialogue as someone who naturally attracts and manages money with ease. When thinking about finances, use language that reflects this identity. As a person who attracts abundance, or given my natural ability to generate wealth. Maintain this identity-level dialogue consistently, allowing it to shape your decisions, actions, and expectations around money. Chapter 10: The Gateway to Money Mastery. Through the ancient halls of learning, a student named Sylvester completed his foundational studies. As he gazed upon the ornate doors of the Advanced Academy, understanding dawned in his heart. Every lesson, every practice, every insight had been but preparation for deeper mysteries that awaited beyond those threshold gates. You now stand at a similar crossroads. The language of money has revealed its basic grammar to you. The sacred words that currency understands, the tones that make it eager to serve, the frequencies that draw it near. Yet this knowledge, powerful as it may be, represents only the beginning of true financial mastery. Just as a child first learns individual letters before writing poetry, you have learned the elements of money's hidden tongue. The time has come to weave these elements into a symphony of abundance that plays continuously through your consciousness, requiring no more effort than your heartbeat requires to maintain its rhythm. In a distant conservatory, a musician named Adelaide reached such a turning point in her own journey. She had mastered individual notes, learned to play scales with precision, and understood the basic theory of harmony. Yet, as she graduated to composing complete symphonies, she discovered an entirely new realm of musical possibility. The notes became not separate elements to be practiced, but natural expressions of the music that lived within her soul. Your journey with money's sacred language mirrors Adelaide's artistic evolution. You have learned to speak words of abundance, to generate frequencies of prosperity, to maintain the tone of financial authority. Now you stand ready to orchestrate these elements into a complete transformation of your financial reality. The advanced principles that await will show you how to make attraction of abundance as natural as drawing breath. Your internal dialogue will align so perfectly with prosperity that money will flow to you through channels you cannot yet imagine. Money Mastery Preparation Ritual. Each morning, set aside 15 minutes for conscious integration of all you have learned. Begin by speaking the language of financial authority. Generate the frequency of abundance through gratitude. Maintain the identity of natural prosperity. Let each principle flow into the next without effort or strain. End by affirming your readiness to receive the advanced teachings that will complete your transformation into a being whom money serves with joy and eagerness. Part 2, The Deepening of Financial Magnetism. Chapter 11, The Alchemy of Money Emotions. In a dimly lit workshop filled with glass vials and aromatic herbs, an apothecary named Mortimer made a remarkable discovery. As he mixed his healing potions, he noticed that remedies prepared in anger brought bitter complaints from his patients, while those crafted with love earned praise for their miraculous healing properties. Day after day, he documented how identical ingredients yielded vastly different results, based solely on his emotional state during their preparation. You now stand before a similar revelation about the nature of money's response to your thoughts. The words you speak internally about wealth carry not just their literal meaning, but the full spectrum of emotions that fuel them. Like Mortimer's medicines, your money thoughts produce effects that mirror the emotional energy invested in their creation. The universe responds not to the surface of your financial dialogue, but to the deep emotional currents that power your words. When you think about money with excitement, appreciation, and unwavering confidence, you generate an energetic signature that wealth finds irresistible. But when your money thoughts arise from fear, anger, or shame, you create an invisible force field that repels abundance despite your best intentions. In her sunlit studio, a painter named Evangeline unveiled this same principle through her art. She observed that identical brushstrokes produce strikingly different results depending on her emotional state. Paintings created from technical skill alone appeared lifeless and flat, while those infused with joy and passion seemed to vibrate with living energy. Her canvases became mirrors, reflecting not just her technique, but the emotional quality of each moment she spent creating them. Your internal dialogue about money operates by the same principle. Technical knowledge of prosperity principles, while essential, creates only mediocre results when divorced from proper emotional energy. But when you combine clear financial understanding with the magnetic emotions of excitement, gratitude, and certainty, your thoughts become powerful catalysts for miraculous abundance. Like Evangeline with her brush, you have been unconsciously infusing your money thoughts with emotions that work against your desires. Each time you think about wealth from a place of worry, resentment, or unworthiness, you paint your financial reality with colors that repel rather than attract prosperity. Money Emotion Alchemy Practice. Begin each morning by selecting a specific money thought. Perhaps wealth flows to me easily. Sit quietly and consciously generate emotions of excitement, appreciation, and absolute certainty while holding this thought. Feel the thrill of abundance as though it were already manifest. Let gratitude fill your heart for money's constant service. Know with unshakable confidence that prosperity is your natural state. Practice maintaining these magnetic emotions for longer periods each day, until every financial thought automatically carries the emotional signature that makes money eager to respond. Chapter 12, The Rhythm of Wealth Affirmation. In the bustling streets of an ancient city, a drummer named Theodore earned his living performing at festivals and celebrations. Though skilled at creating thunderous rhythms that momentarily caught attention, he noticed the crowds quickly dispersed when the novelty of his loud performances faded. One evening, an elder musician approached him and shared a timeless secret. The soul responds not to volume, but to rhythm. A gentle beat that matches the heart's own tempo will move people more deeply than 1,000 crashing cymbals. Through patient practice, Theodore discovered that soft, consistent drumming created an almost hypnotic effect, drawing listeners into a deeper state of connection. His audiences no longer simply passed by. They stayed, swayed, and were transformed by the steady rhythm that spoke to their souls. This wisdom extends to the sacred language of money. The universe responds not to occasional bursts of positive declarations about wealth, but to the steady rhythm of your daily money dialogue. Like a drumbeat that aligns with the heart, your internal conversations about abundance create the most powerful attraction when they flow in natural, consistent patterns throughout your day. The second story unfolds in a humble garden where Augustus tended his plants with dedication. Through years of observation, he noticed that plants receiving regular light watering develop strong, deep roots and flourish consistently. In contrast, those subjected to occasional flooding showed weak stems and struggled to thrive. The secret, he would say, lies not in how much water I give at once, but in the reliability of my care. Your relationship with money mirrors this natural law. Brief but regular affirmations of abundance, woven naturally into your daily thoughts, create stronger financial attraction than intense but irregular sessions of positive thinking. Just as Augustus's plants responded to consistent nurturing, your prosperity consciousness develops robust roots through steady, gentle cultivation. The Wealth Rhythm Protocol offers a practical path to this natural state of abundance. Begin by identifying 3 regular daily activities, perhaps sipping morning tea, walking to work, or preparing for sleep. During these moments, simply allow gentle thoughts of prosperity to flow through your mind. Let these brief affirmations become as natural as breathing, creating a sustainable rhythm that builds magnetic power over time without strain or forced effort. Chapter 13, The Silence Between Money Thoughts. In the heart of an ancient temple, a master musician named Cornelius spent his days crafting melodies that seemed to touch the divine. Through years of devotion to his art, he uncovered a truth that transformed not just his music, but the very fabric of abundance in his life. The power of his compositions lay not in the notes themselves, but in the sacred spaces between them. You now stand at the threshold of this same wisdom. Just as each musical note requires space to fully resonate before the next begins, your thoughts about money need moments of silence to fully integrate into your consciousness. These peaceful pauses are not empty voids, but powerful chambers where manifestation takes root. The art of financial magnetism flows from this delicate balance between declaration and silence. When you constantly flood your mind with thoughts about money, even positive ones, you create mental noise that drowns out the deeper frequencies of attraction. Like waves that cancel each other out, endless affirmations without rest can neutralize their own power. In the warmth of her kitchen, a baker named Millicent discovered this principle through her daily bread-making ritual. She noticed that dough forced to rise too quickly produced dense, heavy loaves, while dough given proper rest periods between kneading developed a light, perfect texture. The magic happened not in the working of the dough, but in the moments of stillness when natural processes could unfold undisturbed. Your mind operates by these same principles. When you constantly knead your consciousness with money thoughts, you interrupt the natural alchemy of manifestation. The universe requires moments of sacred silence to transmute your intentions into physical reality. The sacred money silence practice invites you to create deliberate pauses after speaking or thinking each money affirmation. Let each positive declaration float in stillness for several breaths before introducing another thought. This simple yet powerful technique allows your money consciousness to develop naturally, like bread rising in perfect time. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14, The Authority of Financial Certainty. Upon the vast ocean waves, a ship captain named Gideon guided vessels through treacherous waters. Night after night, he observed how his crew and passengers responded to the subtle variations in his voice. When storms raged and he spoke of their destination with unwavering certainty, calm spread through the ship like a soothing balm. Yet on occasions when doubt crept into his tone, even the slightest whisper of uncertainty would spark waves of panic that rippled through every soul aboard. Through this awareness, you now grasp money's deepest truth. It flows naturally toward those who speak of abundance with the same unshakable certainty that a skilled captain speaks of reaching port. The universe itself responds to the magnetic force of absolute knowing, drawing prosperity toward those who express complete confidence in its arrival. This certainty transcends mere positive thinking. It emanates from understanding that abundance operates according to precise universal laws, as reliable as the principles that guide ships across oceans. When you align your internal dialogue with these laws, speaking about money with the voice of someone who knows rather than hopes, you activate forces as tangible as gravity. In distant fields, a farmer named Prudence demonstrated this truth through her relationship with her crops. While other farmers anxiously watched the skies and fretted over their harvests, Prudence planted each seed with complete certainty of its fruition. Through drought and storm, her voice never wavered when speaking of the coming abundance. Remarkably, her fields flourished even in harsh conditions, as if nature itself responded to her unshakable confidence. Your financial garden operates by these same principles. Each doubt-filled thought about money acts like a shadow over your prosperity, while every moment of certainty serves as sunshine that nourishes your abundance. The universe mirrors back the level of confidence you express through your internal dialogue about wealth. The financial certainty cultivation practice calls you to speak about money with the absolute conviction of someone who knows abundance is their destiny. For 7 days, voice your financial intentions with the same certainty that the sun will rise, knowing that your prosperity is as natural and inevitable as the changing of seasons. Chapter 15, The Magnetism of Money Visualization. In the bustling heart of an ancient city, an architect named Ezekiel made a transformative discovery. Before placing stone upon stone, he learned to build each structure completely in his mind, crafting every detail with such clarity that the physical construction became merely a reflection of what already existed in his imagination. The more vividly he envisioned the completed building, the more effortlessly the actual construction unfolded, as if the universe itself conspired to match his mental blueprint. When you combine clear visualization with your money dialogue, you activate deeper levels of magnetic attraction. This multidimensional approach engages both your conscious and subconscious mind, creating a harmonious signal that abundance cannot resist. Just as Ezekiel's buildings emerged more perfectly when guided by clear mental images, your financial reality manifests more powerfully when shaped by both vivid visualization and aligned internal dialogue. The art of financial visualization requires engaging all your senses in the experience of abundance. As you speak to yourself about money, simultaneously see yourself moving through a life of prosperity. Feel the confidence in your steps, taste the sweetness of success, hear the sounds of abundance flowing, and touch the tangible results of your financial mastery. This complete sensory immersion creates an irresistible attractive force that money naturally flows toward. In a quiet corner of the marketplace, a seamstress named Cordelia discovered this same principle through her craft. When she held a clear vision of the finished garment in her mind while working, her hands moved with supernatural precision. Each stitch aligned perfectly with the whole, guided by the complete picture rather than limited by focus on individual tasks. Her finest creations emerged when she maintained this dual awareness, attending to present details while holding the final vision. You now recognize that your money dialogue gains exponential power when paired with clear mental imagery. Like Cordelia's needle and thread guided by her visionary mind, your words about wealth become more precise and powerful when directed by vivid images of your abundant future. The Money Vision integration practice calls you to combine detailed visualization with your internal money dialogue. As you speak to yourself about abundance, simultaneously immerse yourself in clear mental pictures of your prosperous reality. Let every affirmation be accompanied by rich sensory experiences of the wealth you are attracting, creating a complete attractive force that engages your entire being in the manifestation of abundance. Chapter 16. The Protection of Money Thoughts. In a sheltered valley, a gardener named Reginald nurtured rare and delicate seedlings that promised extraordinary blooms. His greatest challenge wasn't just keeping obvious pests at bay, but protecting his plants from subtle threats. Harsh winds, temperature fluctuations, and invisible soil imbalances that could stunt their growth. Through patient observation, he learned that creating the right conditions required constant vigilance against both visible and hidden dangers. Your positive money dialogue requires similar protection. The magnetic field you build through conscious internal conversation faces constant assault from the pervasive energy of lack consciousness that surrounds modern life. Every headline about economic uncertainty, every conversation about rising costs, and every cultural message about the difficulty of acquiring wealth sends ripples of doubt through your carefully cultivated garden of abundance thoughts. Just as Reginald created protective barriers around his precious seedlings, you must establish mental boundaries that shield your financial consciousness from contamination. This means developing awareness of how external influences affect your internal money dialogue and taking active steps to maintain your positive focus despite these challenges. The art of protecting your money thoughts involves recognizing that not every financial conversation deserves your participation, not every economic prediction warrants your attention, and not every fearful money story needs to enter your consciousness. You have the right and responsibility to guard the sacred space where your abundance thoughts grow. Along a storm-swept coast, a lighthouse keeper named Beatrice discovered this same principle through her vital work. The clarity of her beacon depended on daily cleaning of the lens and constant protection from the elements. When she grew lax in her maintenance, the light dimmed imperceptibly at first, then more noticeably, until ships could no longer rely on its guidance. But when she remained vigilant, her light cut through the darkest nights with unwavering brightness. You see in Beatrice's dedication a reflection of your own journey. The magnetic power of your money dialogue requires similar protection and maintenance. Each positive thought about abundance, each confident internal conversation about wealth must be sheltered from the storms of collective fear and doubt that threaten to dim your financial magnetism. The Money Thought Protection Protocol offers you a sacred pathway to fortify and preserve your positive money dialogue against the ceaseless waves of negative financial influences that crash upon the shores of your consciousness. Just as Beatrice tended her lighthouse with unwavering dedication, you must establish specific daily rituals and protective boundaries around your abundance mindset. Create deliberate strategies for filtering the information that reaches your awareness, perhaps setting aside designated times for necessary financial news, while consciously limiting exposure to scarcity-based media that serves only to feed collective fears. Learn to gracefully redirect conversations that drift toward lack and limitation, steering them instead toward possibilities and prosperity. Develop powerful mental shields that deflect cultural messages of financial anxiety, allowing only those thoughts that nurture and strengthen your abundance consciousness to take root in the fertile soil of your mind. Remember that every thought you entertain about money carries magnetic power. Choose wisely which ones you allow past your spiritual guardhouse. Chapter 17. The Multiplication of Money Magnetism. In a bustling village marketplace, a master baker named Atticus made a profound discovery while preparing his morning bread. As he watched a small amount of yeast transform an entire batch of dough, he realized that certain ingredients possessed powers beyond mere addition. They could multiply and transform everything they touched. Through this seemingly simple observation, you now uncover a deeper truth about the language of money. Just as yeast works invisibly to expand and elevate an entire batch of dough, certain elements within your internal money dialogue act as powerful multipliers that amplify all other thoughts about abundance. And these multiplication principles operate far beyond the realm of positive thinking. When you understand how to employ them, your financial magnetism grows, not by simple addition, but through exponential expansion. Each multiplier element you introduce into your internal dialogue creates ripple effects that transform your entire relationship with abundance. The ancient wisdom reveals three primary multipliers of money consciousness: gratitude, certainty, and generosity. When you infuse your internal dialogue with genuine gratitude, it multiplies the power of appreciation. When you speak with unwavering certainty, it multiplies your natural confidence. When you think with true generosity, it multiplies your capacity to receive. These elements work together to create geometric progression in your attractive power. In a grand concert hall, a musician named Genevieve unlocked similar wisdom through her study of harmonics. She discovered that certain note combinations created resonance that filled the entire space, while others, though individually beautiful, created dissonance when combined. Through careful experimentation, she learned to identify which elements naturally amplified each other and which ones created interference. You recognize in Genevieve's musical journey the same principles that govern your money dialogue. Random positive thoughts about wealth, though beneficial individually, may actually work against each other when combined without understanding their harmonic relationships. But when you consciously select and combine compatible money thoughts, they resonate together to create magnetic power far beyond their individual effects. The money magnetism multiplication practice leads you through a profound journey of self-discovery, teaching you to masterfully identify and weave together the elements of money dialogue that naturally enhance and amplify one another's magnetic force. Like a master composer arranging notes in perfect harmony, you learn to recognize the subtle vibrations between your thoughts, which ones sing in perfect resonance together, creating waves of abundant energy, and which ones generate subtle discord that dampens their collective power. This ancient practice empowers you to orchestrate your internal conversations with deliberate precision, moving beyond the simple accumulation of positive affirmations to create a symphony of magnetic thought patterns that multiply your attractive force exponentially. Through careful observation and practice, you begin to feel the natural resonance between certain money thoughts, just as Genevieve discovered with her musical harmonics. You develop an intuitive understanding of how to layer these thoughts strategically, creating powerful combinations that amplify your abundance consciousness far beyond what any single affirmation could achieve alone. This deeper awareness allows you to craft internal dialogues that don't merely exist side by side, but rather interweave and enhance each other, generating a magnetic force that grows stronger with each carefully chosen thought pattern. Chapter 18. The Mastery of Money Energy. In the heart of a mountain village, a blacksmith named Clarence worked diligently at his forge. Through years of patient observation, he discovered that metal possessed an inner life far beyond its solid appearance. Each piece held unique energy patterns that determined its ultimate strength or weakness. One day, as he crafted a sword, Clarence realized that timing was everything. Heating the metal at precisely the right moment created extraordinary strength, while mistimed strikes produced hidden brittleness that would eventually shatter the blade. Through this insight, he learned to feel the metal's readiness, rather than relying solely on what his eyes could see. You now understand that money operates by these same principles. Like metal in a forge, money is primarily energy that temporarily takes physical form. Its true nature flows like water, moves like wind, and transforms like fire. Mastery comes not from forcing it to bend to your will, but from learning to sense and work with its natural patterns of movement. The ancient teachings reveal that money energy responds to your internal state with mathematical precision. When your dialogue creates harmony with its natural flow, it moves toward you effortlessly. When your thoughts generate resistance, it diverts around you like a stream flowing around a boulder. Out on the vast ocean, a sailor named Dorothea made a similar discovery. While other ships relied on complicated instruments, she learned to read the wind through direct sensation. She felt its subtle shifts against her skin, noticed its effect on the water's surface, and understood its patterns through pure awareness. As her sensitivity developed, Dorothea navigated treacherous waters with remarkable accuracy. She knew when to raise sails and when to seek shelter, not through calculated measurements, but through attunement to the wind's living energy. Her ship seemed to dance with the elements rather than battle against them. You see in Dorothea's masterful navigation a reflection of your own journey with money energy. All this time, abundance has been trying to flow toward you through invisible channels. Yet your internal dialogue has unconsciously created resistance in the very field you seek to magnetize. The practice of money energy sensing beckons you to find a sacred space of stillness each day, where you can attune yourself to the subtle vibrations that your thoughts about wealth create within your being. As you settle into deep silence, notice how certain internal conversations about money cause your energy field to expand like a flower opening to the morning sun, filling you with a profound sense of lightness and possibility. Observe, too, how other thoughts contract your spirit, weighing upon your consciousness like heavy stones in a stream, disrupting the natural current of abundance. Through this daily communion with the invisible realms of prosperity, you begin to develop an exquisite sensitivity, much like a master perfumer who can distinguish the most delicate of fragrances. Your awareness becomes a finely tuned instrument, capable of detecting in real time how your inner dialogue either creates channels for wealth to flow freely toward you, or constructs unseen barriers that cause abundance to seek easier paths around your resistance. This heightened perception becomes your compass, guiding you to align your thoughts with the ancient rhythms of universal prosperity. Chapter 19. The Command of Financial Flow. Along the rushing waters of an ancient river, a guide named Obadiah spent decades learning the secrets of water's flow. Through patient observation, he discovered that the river possessed its own intelligence, its own desires, its own natural patterns of movement. Where others built massive dams that created dangerous pressure and eventual destruction, Obadiah learned that subtle adjustments, a strategically placed stone, a gentle redirection, could guide entire currents with remarkable effectiveness. You now understand that money flows according to these same principles. Like water, it seeks natural channels of least resistance, moving toward those who know how to direct it with wisdom rather than force it with desperation. The power to command financial flow comes not from dominating money's movement, but from understanding its essential nature and working in harmony with its inherent tendencies. The ancient wisdom reveals that money yearns to be guided by those who comprehend its true purpose, to facilitate exchange, create value, and support the flourishing of all it touches. When your internal dialogue reflects this deeper understanding, money responds to your direction not from obligation but from recognition of your wisdom. In a grand concert hall, a conductor named Constance unveiled similar truths about leadership and flow. She discovered that true orchestral mastery came not from imposing her will upon the musicians, but from honoring each player's unique gifts while guiding them toward collective harmony. The more she respected their individual artistry, the more eagerly they followed her direction, creating music that transcended mere performance to touch the divine. You recognize in Constance's artful leadership the perfect balance required for commanding financial flow, just as she learned to conduct with both authority and appreciation. You now understand that money responds most powerfully to internal dialogue that combines clear direction with genuine respect for its nature and purpose. The practice of financial flow command training beckons you to cultivate a new relationship with money through conscious internal dialogue. Like a skilled conductor before an orchestra, you must learn to direct financial energies with the quiet confidence that springs from deep understanding rather than the brittle authority of control. Each morning, as the sun rises, take sacred moments to engage in purposeful conversation with the universal forces of abundance and speak to yourself about money with the seasoned wisdom of one who comprehends its fluid nature. Let your thoughts flow like a gentle stream, acknowledging money's natural rhythms while simultaneously guiding its course. In your daily meditation, visualize yourself as a masterful steward of prosperity, one whose words and intentions create channels for wealth to flow freely and purposefully. As you practice this ancient art, observe the subtle yet profound shifts in how financial energy responds to your guidance. Notice how money, like water, moves more freely when met with clear direction rather than rigid demands. Watch as your wealth begins to flow more abundantly when you approach it with the reverence of a wise guardian rather than the desperation of one who seeks to control its every movement. Chapter 20. The Integration of Money Mastery. In the hallowed halls of an ancient guild, a master craftsman named Sylvester stood before his finest work. After years of perfecting individual techniques, the careful selection of materials, the precise angle of each cut, the subtle finishing touches, he had reached the moment where conscious thought dissolved into pure creation. His hands moved with their own wisdom, each action flowing naturally from an inner knowing that transcended deliberate practice. You now stand at this same threshold of transformation, the individual elements of money dialogue you have learned, the careful choice of words, the precise emotional resonance, the subtle energetic adjustments are ready to merge into a singular symphony of abundance attraction. True mastery beckons not through more techniques, but through the integration of all you have learned into a new way of being. Just as a master craftsman no longer thinks about how to hold their tools, your relationship with money now evolves beyond conscious construction into natural expression. Your internal dialogue about wealth, prosperity, and abundance becomes as automatic as your heartbeat, requiring no more conscious attention than breathing requires of your lungs. In the grand concert hall of a prestigious conservatory, a master musician named Adelaide discovered this same truth. Where once she'd laboriously thought about each finger placement and bow movement, her violin had become an extension of her soul. Music flowed through her not from conscious effort, but from the natural expression of her innermost being. The instrument disappeared, leaving only pure artistry. Like Adelaide, you now transcend the conscious practice of money attraction techniques. Your transformed identity naturally emanates the frequency of abundance without deliberate effort. The words you speak to yourself about money arise spontaneously from your deepened understanding, each thought automatically aligned with the principles of prosperity. The money mastery integration practice gently shepherds this natural evolution of your prosperity consciousness. Begin by performing your daily money attraction practices as you have been, but with a subtle shift. Gradually ease your grip on conscious effort while maintaining the magnetic potency of your results. Notice how these new patterns of abundance thinking begin operating automatically, like a sublime symphony that continues playing in a distant room, requiring none of your attention yet filling the space with its harmonious vibrations. Allow your transformed relationship with money to settle into your being, becoming as natural as the rhythm of your steps or the cadence of your voice. Watch as these prosperity-aligned thoughts and feelings operate effortlessly through your renewed identity, flowing from the deepest wells of your consciousness. You have become someone who naturally draws abundance toward them, just as a flower naturally turns its face to the sun. The practices that once required careful attention now weave themselves seamlessly into the fabric of your daily existence, creating an unbroken current of magnetic attraction that pulls prosperity into your sphere, without conscious strain or effort. Part 3, the embodiment of wealth consciousness. Chapter 21, the throne of financial sovereignty. In the grand halls of an ancient estate, a young man named Mortimer stood before his father's portrait, wrestling with the weight of his inheritance. Though the fortune was legally his, something deeper held him back. Not the paperwork or procedures, but his own readiness to step into such abundance. Through quiet contemplation, he discovered that claiming his birthright required not action, but acceptance, not doing, but being. The moment he embraced his natural place as heir, the resistance dissolved, and the wealth flowed as naturally as water finding its course. You now stand at this same threshold of divine inheritance. Financial sovereignty awaits not through striving, but through remembering who you truly are, abundance itself expressing through human form. This knowing transforms your internal dialogue from pleading to proclamation, from seeking to accepting, from hoping to knowing. When you speak to yourself as abundance incarnate, money responds not to what you do, but to who you are. Like oxygen flowing to sustain life, wealth flows to sustain your divine expression. This is not manifestation through effort, but manifestation through essence. The deepest teachings reveal that money magnetism reaches its peak when you cease trying to attract abundance and simply allow abundance to express through you. Your internal dialogue shifts from, "I need money," to "I'm the source through which abundance flows." This consciousness creates such natural magnetism that opportunities and resources are drawn to you as inevitably as planets orbit their sun. In a distant kingdom, Queen Evangeline demonstrated this truth. She never demanded loyalty or commanded service. Instead, she simply embodied such natural sovereignty that her subjects were spontaneously moved to support her vision. Her authority flowed not from her crown, but from her essence, not from her position, but from her presence. Like Evangeline, you now step into the consciousness where money serves not because you have conquered it, but because you have remembered your divine right to direct its flow. Your internal dialogue emerges from this knowing, each thought aligned with your natural state of abundance. The Financial Sovereignty Declaration practice invites you to formally claim your throne as the conscious director of abundance in your life. Standing before your mirror each morning, speak your truth with the quiet confidence of one who knows their divine inheritance. Let your words carry the weight of natural authority, as though you were issuing a royal decree to the universe itself. Each thought you express should flow not from a place of wanting or seeking, but from the unshakable knowing that you are abundance incarnate, wealth itself choosing to express through your unique human vessel. Like a king or queen addressing their court, let your internal dialogue emerge from that sacred space where your very presence commands the flow of prosperity, where each word resonates with the power of one who doesn't request abundance but rather acknowledges it as their birthright. Chapter 22. The Alchemy of Instant Money Manifestation. In his dimly lit laboratory, master chemist Theodore meticulously combined elements in crystal vials, observing their interactions with unwavering attention. Through years of study, he discovered that certain combinations produced instantaneous reactions, brilliant flashes of light, sudden color changes, immediate crystallization, while others required patient waiting, gentle heating, or careful aging to achieve their intended effects. One evening, as he witnessed a particularly spectacular instant reaction, understanding dawned in his mind. The speed of transformation depended not on the power of the elements, but on their perfect compatibility. When every component aligned precisely, nature responded without hesitation. You now stand at the threshold of this same revelation. The secret of instant money manifestation lies not in force, but in perfect alignment. When your internal dialogue achieves complete coherence with wealth consciousness, when every thought, emotion, and belief speaks the same language of abundance, money responds with unprecedented speed. The universe, like a master chemist's laboratory, operates according to precise laws. When you eliminate all contradictory elements from your consciousness, when every aspect of your being resonates with the frequency of wealth. Financial manifestation accelerates beyond normal limitations. Your internal dialogue becomes so pure, so aligned, that the universe receives crystal clear instructions it can fulfill without delay. Master architect Augustus discovered this principle while overseeing the construction of a grand cathedral. When every blueprint aligned perfectly, when every worker understood their role precisely, when every material arrived exactly when needed, buildings that normally required years rose in months. The secret lay not in rushing, but in eliminating confusion and contradiction. Your consciousness contains all the elements needed for instant money manifestation. Like Augustus's perfectly coordinated construction site, your internal dialogue can achieve such precise alignment that financial results manifest with surprising speed. Each thought becomes a perfectly placed stone, each emotion a precisely measured beam, each belief a carefully laid foundation, all working in harmony toward the same magnificent result. The instant manifestation alignment practice invites you to achieve this perfect internal coherence, much like a master alchemist preparing their most potent elixir. Through careful examination of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs about money, you systematically eliminate any contradictory elements that could delay manifestation, just as an expert jeweler removes impurities from precious metals. Like a master chemist preparing for an instantaneous reaction, you meticulously ensure every aspect of your consciousness, from your morning reflections to your nightly contemplations, supports rather than hinders your financial intentions. This sacred practice requires you to become both the observer and the observed, watching your inner landscape with the precision of an ancient sage. Each thought must be examined like a merchant inspecting gold coins, each emotion refined like ore in a spiritual furnace, until your entire being resonates with the pure frequency of abundance. When you detect a discordant thought about wealth, you transmute it immediately into its highest expression, knowing that each transformation brings you closer to that perfect state of alignment where manifestation becomes instantaneous. Chapter 23, The Responsibility of Money Mastery. In the mystical realm of ancient wisdom, Cornelius discovered the secret of instant gold manifestation through sacred rituals and focused intention. Yet as his wealth multiplied effortlessly, he witnessed how his power influenced others who observed his abilities. Some were inspired to seek understanding, while others fell into bitter envy or desperate imitation without comprehending the deeper principles. Through meditation and inner guidance, Cornelius realized that mastering money's mysteries brought sacred obligations. His abilities were not granted for personal gain alone, but to demonstrate abundance's true nature as a force meant to benefit all of creation. You now stand at this same crossroads of power and purpose. As your money consciousness expands into mastery, you become a living example of what others can achieve through proper understanding and application of universal laws. Your success creates ripples in the collective consciousness, showing others that liberation from scarcity is possible when abundance principles are properly understood and applied. True money mastery carries ethical dimensions that transcend personal gain. Your enhanced ability to attract wealth makes you a steward of knowledge that can free others from financial bondage. This sacred trust requires sharing your understanding with those ready to receive it, while maintaining the purity and power of the teachings. In a flourishing valley, Master Gardener Millicent cultivated the most abundant crops anyone had ever seen. Rather than keeping her methods secret, she invited others to learn, sharing both her harvest and her wisdom freely. To her amazement, teaching others multiplied her own abundance exponentially. The more she gave, the more her garden produced, far exceeding what she could have achieved through solitary effort. You recognize this truth in your own journey toward financial mastery. Your enhanced ability to attract wealth exists not just for personal benefit, but as a light showing others their own potential for abundance. By sharing your knowledge with those ready to receive it, you multiply rather than diminish your own magnetic power. The abundant stewardship commitment practice beckons you to align your financial mastery with the sacred duty of uplifting others. In the quiet depths of meditation, contemplate how your growing wisdom can illuminate the path for those who earnestly seek. Create a detailed vision of your role as a guardian of these eternal principles, mapping out specific channels through which you will share this sacred knowledge. Consider establishing regular gatherings where seekers can absorb these timeless teachings, or founding educational initiatives that make abundance principles accessible to ready hearts and minds. You might be called to mentor individuals showing genuine dedication to these truths, or to create foundations that provide both spiritual guidance and practical resources. Remember that as you share these divine laws of prosperity, the universe responds by amplifying your own magnetic power to attract abundance. Through this conscious dedication of your gifts, you become a living bridge between ancient wisdom and modern transformation, ensuring these powerful teachings continue flowing through time, touching countless lives with their liberating truth. Chapter 24, The Network of Wealth Consciousness. In ancient times, a lighthouse keeper named Gideon tended his solitary beacon night after night, believing his light stood alone against the darkness. One stormy evening, as he gazed across the tempestuous waters, he witnessed something remarkable. Countless other beacons flickering to life along distant shores, forming a network of light that guided ships safely through treacherous waters. This revelation transformed his understanding of his role. His individual light gained exponential power through its connection to others sharing the same sacred purpose. You now stand at a similar moment of revelation. Your mastery of money's hidden language connects you to an invisible network of individuals who have awakened to the same understanding. Like beacons sharing their light across vast distances, those who grasp abundance's true nature form energy fields that amplify each other's magnetic power. Wealth consciousness spreads like light passing from one lamp to another, losing nothing yet gaining strength through multiplication. When you connect with others who have mastered money's secret rule, your individual magnetism increases through resonance with their accumulated wisdom and power. Yet this connection must be discerning. True abundance masters recognize each other not through external wealth, but through the quality of their consciousness and the authenticity of their understanding. In a great concert hall, master musician Prudence discovered that while her solo practice had brought her far, playing alongside other masters elevated her artistry beyond what she could achieve alone. The harmonies they created together transcended individual capability, each player's excellence calling forth greater excellence from the others. Their collective mastery created music that touched souls and transformed lives. You see yourself in Prudence's journey from solitary practice to collaborative elevation. Just as her individual talent found new expression through connection with other masters, your money magnetism grows stronger through alliance with those who share your understanding of abundance's true nature. These connections form naturally as you recognize others who embody the consciousness you have cultivated. The Wealth Consciousness Networking practice beckons you to consciously cultivate and cherish connections with kindred spirits who radiate genuine abundance, consciousness. Like moths drawn to the same eternal flame, you will naturally recognize these enlightened souls through the resonance of their energy and the depth of their understanding. Through these sacred relationships, you both give and receive, contributing your unique vibration to the vast tapestry of collective prosperity while drawing strength from its ever-expanding power. This living network of abundance grows exponentially, with each new seeker who awakens to money's secret rule, creating an unstoppable force of magnetic attraction that lifts all participants to greater heights of manifestation. As you immerse yourself in this community of conscious creators, your own prosperity consciousness deepens and evolves, finding new expression through the mirror of shared wisdom and mutual growth. Chapter 25: The Effortless Flow of Financial Abundance. A master sailor named Ezekiel guided his vessel through treacherous waters with such grace that observers marveled at how his small sailing ship outpaced modern vessels. While others fought against wind and tide with powerful engines, Ezekiel's boat danced with the elements, finding hidden currents and favorable winds that carried him swiftly to his destination. His secret lay not in superior equipment, but in his ability to read and work with nature's own power. You have reached a similar mastery in your relationship with money. When your consciousness aligns perfectly with the universal laws of abundance, financial flow becomes as natural as wind filling a well-trimmed sail. No longer must you struggle against resistance or force outcomes through sheer determination. Instead, you move in harmony with the currents of prosperity that have always existed, waiting for those who understand their patterns. The highest expression of money mastery manifests as apparent effortlessness. Just as water flows downhill without strain, abundance flows naturally to those who maintain perfect alignment with its principles. Your transformed internal dialogue creates channels through which money moves with ease, bringing opportunities and resources through synchronicities that seem miraculous to those still struggling against the current. In a quiet corner of the countryside lived a master gardener named Cordelia. Visitors traveled from far and wide to behold her legendary garden, expecting to find her toiling endlessly among the plants. Instead, they discovered her sitting peacefully on a wooden bench, appearing to do nothing at all. Yet her garden flourished beyond any other, producing the most vibrant flowers and abundant harvests in the region. Those who watched closely realized that Cordelia had learned to work with nature's intelligence rather than impose her will upon it. You recognize yourself in Cordelia's mastery. Your money consciousness has evolved beyond the need for constant effort and control. Like her garden that thrives through alignment with natural forces, your financial abundance now flows through the perfect alignment of your internal state with universal principles. The effortless abundance cultivation practice invites you to surrender into a state of profound allowing, where money flows through natural channels as easily as a stream, finding its way through ancient valleys. Like Cordelia in her garden, you learn to maintain perfect internal alignment without forcing or straining. Release the grip of your analytical mind that seeks to control every specific method and pathway of manifestation. Instead, cultivate an unwavering trust that abundance, in its infinite wisdom, already knows the most harmonious and efficient path to reach you. Your role is simply to keep your consciousness clear and receptive, like a well-tended channel through which the waters of prosperity can flow unimpeded. Just as a flower needs no instruction on how to bloom, your financial blessings require no micromanagement, only your sustained alignment with the eternal principles that govern all abundance. Chapter 26. The Infinite Channel of Money Flow. In the highlands of an ancient land, a spring keeper named Reginald tended a sacred water source that flowed without ceasing through all seasons. While other wells ran dry during droughts, this spring maintained its pure flow because it connected to an endless underground river flowing from mountain peaks to distant seas. Reginald learned that his sacred duty was not to create water, but simply to keep the channel clear of debris and blockages, allowing the infinite flow to continue unhindered. Through this eternal spring, you glimpse the true nature of money mastery. Your role is not to generate abundance through personal effort, but to maintain clear channels through which infinite prosperity can flow naturally. When you release the belief that you must create limited amounts of wealth through force or strain, you become a permanent conduit for unlimited financial flow. The universal stream of abundance seeks channels through which it can circulate and bless all beings. By maintaining perfect openness to receiving wealth in whatever forms serve the highest good, you allow yourself to become such a channel. Like Reginald's spring that serves countless travelers while never running dry, you discover that abundance flowing through you naturally fulfills both your needs and those of others touched by your prosperity. In a bustling marketplace lived a master merchant named Beatrice, who discovered an extraordinary truth about wealth. The more she focused on creating genuine value for others, the more naturally abundance flowed into her life. She realized that by becoming indispensable to others' success, her own prosperity became automatic and effortless. Through serving the flow of abundance to others, she established herself as a permanent beneficiary of its divine circulation. You recognize yourself in Beatrice's enlightened approach to commerce. The ultimate expression of money mastery transforms you from someone seeking personal gain into a conscious channel through which abundance flows to bless all beings. Your own needs are met not through grasping or hoarding, but through maintaining perfect clarity as a conduit for prosperity's movement. The infinite flow channeling practice invites you to consciously dedicate yourself as a clear channel for unlimited abundance. Release attachment to specific amounts or sources, while maintaining unwavering openness to receive and transmit prosperity in all its forms. Like Reginald's spring, your role is simply to remain clear and unobstructed, allowing the infinite river of abundance to flow through you naturally, meeting your needs while blessing all beings in its path. Chapter 27. The Wisdom of Money Cycles. Through the passing seasons, a master farmer named Atticus observed the eternal dance of nature's abundance. While others fought against winter's rest or rushed spring's awakening, he moved in perfect harmony with each cycle. His fields flourished not through constant labor, but through understanding when to plant, when to tend, when to harvest, and when to let the soil regenerate in sacred stillness. Like the wisdom hidden in Atticus's fields, money flows through predictable cycles that mirror nature's rhythm. Just as crops require specific conditions to thrive, financial abundance follows patterns of receiving, giving, investing, and resting. Your consciousness must attune to these natural phases, speaking different languages to money as its cycles shift and turn. The universe has encoded these cycles into the very fabric of existence. During receiving phases, your internal dialogue opens to abundance with gratitude and welcome. In giving phases, you speak with generosity and trust. Investment cycles call for words of vision and growth, while resting phases require the language of patience and renewal. Fighting these natural rhythms through misaligned dialogue creates the same futility as planting seeds in winter or harvesting unripe fruit. Along the wild coastline, a master sailor named Genevieve discovered similar truths through her intimate knowledge of tide and wind. She learned that forcing passage against nature's rhythm brought struggle and danger, while waiting for favorable conditions allowed her vessel to practically sail itself. Her patience with cosmic timing consistently delivered her cargo more swiftly than those who battled the elements through stubborn haste. Do you recognize this same wisdom operating in your financial life? True money mastery includes developing sensitivity to abundance's natural timing. Your internal dialogue must shift like Genevieve, adjusting her sails, sometimes bold and declarative, sometimes quiet and receptive, but always in harmony with the prevailing currents of cosmic flow. The money cycle attunement practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, serves as your compass for navigating the ever-shifting tides of abundance. Through this sacred technique, you will develop an intuitive awareness of which financial season currently embraces your path. Whether it calls for the fertile soil of receiving, the expansive energy of giving, the focused power of investment, or the restorative quiet of rest. As you engage with this timeless practice, your inner voice naturally attunes itself to the precise frequency needed for each phase. Like a masterful orchestra conductor, you learn to direct your thoughts and words to create perfect resonance with the cosmic forces that orchestrate the universal flow of prosperity. Your consciousness begins to dance in perfect step with these ancient rhythms, allowing abundance to move through your life with the same effortless grace as moonlight playing upon evening waters. This profound alignment transforms your relationship with money from one of struggle to one of flowing partnership. Each thought, each affirmation, each declaration you speak becomes perfectly timed to harmonize with the greater symphony of universal abundance, opening channels of prosperity that have remained dormant, waiting for just this awakening. Chapter 28, The Legacy of Abundance Teaching. In the twilight of his distinguished career, master craftsman Clarence made a profound discovery. While his own creations had brought beauty to countless homes, his greatest joy and impact came from teaching others to master their craft. Each apprentice who learned at his workbench became a living extension of his artistry, multiplying his influence far beyond what his own hands could have achieved alone. Like Clarence's revelation about craftsmanship, you now understand that money mastery naturally evolves toward teaching. This progression emerges not from desire for recognition or reward, but from the soul's innate urging to help others transcend the limitations that scarcity consciousness creates in their lives and in society as a whole. When you have mastered the secret language that money understands, you become aware of others struggling with the very patterns you have overcome. You recognize their readiness for advanced teaching through their questions, their openness, and their willingness to examine their own consciousness rather than blame external circumstances for their financial situation. True abundance teaching never creates dependency, but rather awakens each student's inner authority. Like a master lighting another's candle, you share your flame in a way that allows their own light to shine independently. This requires discernment about how and when to share wisdom, always empowering others to discover their own direct connection to universal abundance, rather than positioning yourself as an intermediary. In her sun-dappled garden, Master Gardener Dorothea exemplified this principle. Rather than simply sharing her harvest, she taught others to cultivate their own food. While her vegetables might feed someone for a day, her knowledge could feed them for a lifetime. Through patient instruction in the ways of soil and seed, she transformed dependent recipients into independent producers. You see yourself reflected in Dorothea's approach, understanding that your highest service lies not in temporary financial assistance, but in helping others remember their divine birthright of abundance. Your money mastery seeks expression through awakening others to their own magnetic power, showing them how to attract prosperity through transformed consciousness rather than struggle. The abundance teaching preparation practice passed down through generations of spiritual masters guides you to carefully examine and identify the unique gifts and profound insights you have cultivated through your transformative journey to money mastery. Like a skilled alchemist discovering the perfect moment to transmute base metals into gold, you learn to discern when conditions are ideal for sharing these sacred teachings. Through this time-honored technique inherited from the wise ones who walked this path before you, you create divine opportunities to plant the seeds of abundance consciousness in fertile soil. In the minds and hearts of those whose spirits have awakened to receive these eternal truths. As you sit in quiet contemplation, allowing the ancient wisdom to flow through you, you begin to recognize the specific lessons, metaphors, and personal revelations that the universe has uniquely equipped you to share. Just as each star in the night sky serves its own divine purpose in illuminating the darkness, your particular experiences and understanding carry a special resonance that will touch certain seekers in ways that no other teacher's words could reach. The universe has prepared you through your own trials and triumphs to be a sacred vessel for these timeless principles of prosperity. Chapter 29, The Return to Source Abundance. Through generations untold, Master Jeweler Obadiah devoted himself to perfecting the art of cutting precious stones. His skilled hands transformed rough crystals into dazzling gems that caught and scattered light in mesmerizing patterns. Yet, one morning, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, he witnessed a truth that transcended all technique. The source of every gem's radiance was not his cutting skill, but the pure light that shined through them. In that moment, he understood that his mastery had not created beauty, but simply revealed what was already present. This revelation mirrors the deepest truth of money mastery. You are not separate from the abundance you seek to attract. The financial prosperity flowing into your life has never been external to you, but rather an expression of your own divine nature manifesting through aligned consciousness. Every technique you have learned, every principle you have mastered, has simply cleared away the illusions that prevented you from recognizing yourself as the source of all abundance. Your journey of mastering money's secret language has led you in a perfect circle, back to the recognition that you are abundance itself, choosing to experience itself through human form. The magnetic power you have developed through conscious internal dialogue was never about attracting something foreign to your nature, but about remembering and expressing what you have always been. Pure, unlimited creative potential, temporarily focused in physical expression. This truth is beautifully illustrated in the tale of Constance, who wandered the world seeking the secret of happiness. She studied with masters, explored ancient temples, and collected wisdom from every tradition, only to discover that the joy she sought had been present in her own heart from the beginning. Her journey was not about finding something new, but about recognizing what had always been there, waiting to be embraced. Like Constance, you now understand that money mastery has been a journey of remembering rather than acquiring. The abundance you sought to attract through perfected internal dialogue was your natural state all along. Every financial success has simply been your own consciousness reflected back to you. Every manifestation, a mirror showing you your true nature as divine abundance, expressing through human experience. The source recognition meditation beckons you to dissolve the ancient veil of separation between your mortal self and the infinite ocean of abundance that you truly are. Find a sacred space of stillness, settle into peaceful contemplation, and allow your breath to become slow and rhythmic. As you sink deeper into this sacred silence, recognize that you are not merely a seeker of abundance, but the very divine consciousness from which all prosperity, all wealth, and all money magnetism naturally emerges like streams flowing from an eternal spring. Let your awareness gently expand beyond the confined borders of the limited self, that temporary identity that believes it must chase after abundance. Feel yourself opening, spreading like golden light, into the vast, unlimited consciousness that has always been your true nature. In this expanded state, you are abundance itself, the wellspring from which all material manifestation flows. You are not reaching for prosperity. You are the very essence of prosperity, choosing to experience itself through your human form. Chapter 30. The Eternal Expansion of Wealth Consciousness. And as you stand at this pinnacle of understanding, witness the truth revealed through Master Explorer Sylvester's journey. After years of preparation and dedication, he finally reached the summit he had long dreamed of conquering. Yet as dawn broke across the mountain peaks, his achievement revealed not an ending, but an infinite panorama of higher summits stretching toward the horizon. In that moment, he understood that mastery opens doors to greater adventures rather than providing final destinations. So too does your mastery of money's secret rule reveal not an endpoint, but the beginning of an eternal journey into ever-expanding realms of abundance consciousness. Each level of understanding you have gained has prepared you for greater service in the evolution of human awareness about prosperity and divine potential. The true nature of mastery extends far beyond personal achievement. As consciousness itself continues expanding, your capacity to channel abundance grows without limit. Every new height of understanding reveals fresh vistas of possibility for expressing abundance through your unique gifts. Consider the journey of master musician Adelaide, who devoted decades to perfecting her craft on a single instrument. Upon reaching virtuoso status, she discovered that her mastery had attuned her ears to an infinite symphony playing throughout existence. Rather than limiting her awareness, her focused mastery opened her perception to endless new dimensions of musical possibility. Your journey with money consciousness follows this same pattern of eternal expansion. The principles you have mastered have not brought you to a final destination, but have instead awakened you to infinite possibilities for growth, service, and expression of abundance through your being. This continuing evolution is not a burden to bear, but the very essence of what makes existence magnificent for divine beings expressing through human form. Practice the eternal expansion dedication. Sit in peaceful meditation, allowing your breath to slow and your mind to settle into sacred stillness. With each inhale, feel yourself opening to greater possibilities. With each exhale, release any limitations you have placed upon your potential. Now consciously commit yourself to the eternal journey of expanding abundance consciousness, knowing that each insight gained reveals countless more waiting to be discovered. Embrace the infinite nature of this divine adventure you have begun through mastering money's sacred principles. Just as a drop of water contains the essence of the entire ocean, recognize that your current understanding holds the seed of limitless wisdom waiting to unfold. Let your heart fill with gratitude for this endless path of discovery and growth. Affirm your deepest willingness to continue expanding your understanding, allowing your consciousness to stretch beyond previous boundaries into ever greater awareness of universal abundance. See yourself as a clear channel through which divine prosperity flows freely, touching and transforming all dimensions of existence. Feel the joy of knowing that this journey of expansion has no end. It is an eternal dance of becoming more of who you truly are. A conclusion. Through the wisdom shared in these chapters, you have discovered the profound truth that mastering money's secret rule transforms far more than your financial circumstances. This ancient knowledge has awakened you to your true nature, as a divine being naturally aligned with the infinite flow of abundance throughout existence. Your journey has led you beyond mere techniques for attracting wealth into a complete transformation of consciousness. You now understand that learning to speak the language money understands was simply the doorway into remembering your original state of unlimited creative potential. The internal dialogue patterns you have mastered will continue serving you automatically because they reflect your authentic identity rather than artificial practices you must maintain through effort. This fundamental shift from human personality seeking abundance to divine consciousness expressing abundance represents the deepest purpose of these teachings. You have moved beyond chasing money into becoming someone money naturally chases because you now embody the frequency that abundance recognizes as its own nature. Your success with these principles will serve as living proof that the ancient laws of prosperity still operate with mathematical precision when properly understood and applied. Others who witness your transformation will recognize the possibility of their own liberation from scarcity consciousness through your example of what becomes possible when money's secret rule is mastered. These teachings found you at precisely the right moment in your spiritual evolution, when you were prepared to receive and apply them with the dedication required for complete transformation. Your willingness to practice these principles consistently has opened channels for miraculous manifestation in your financial experience and overall quality of life. Most importantly, you now recognize that your journey with money has actually been a path of spiritual awakening. Financial abundance flows naturally as one expression of the infinite creative potential that moves through consciousness aligned with its divine nature. You have remembered who you truly are, and from this remembrance, all forms of prosperity emerge without effort or struggle. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.